Being in your hard drive, you're out of space.
No. I'm okay. My computer just crapped out, which is sort of a bummer. But yeah, I got enough hard drives now. I just need computers to to use them with. Uh, I got so much of the old videos. I'm trying to put them together for old fan. It's just I got shit everywhere. None of it's labeled and it's just a mess.
Well, here's a thought. A few years ago, they made this new type of hard drive that can theoretically last a million years. It's some preposterous number. So, how about you record all your videos at some point, and then you would purchase a few of these hard drives, and you bury them like you bury one in the desert, then you bury one somewhere in the mountains, and another one somewhere at the bottom of the ocean, and then we'll wait a few million years to see people retrieve that and watch the videos.
Yeah, well, they won't be people. They'll be cockroaches. Then he'll just say, "Gee, bugs were ugly back then," or something like that. But yeah, I think I'd rather shoot it into space, to compete with the Carl Sagan disc. Yeah. Don't listen to that fucking pussy. Humans suck. Kill us. As soon as you can. Get over here. Kill them.
Wouldn't it be ironic that aliens find that Voyager and then they use that to trace it back to Earth, come and wipe us out? That'd be funny.
Well, the wiping us out part will be funny, but yeah, I guess
I mean, it's a funny.
would be an
We went to say
irony
hi, and
for
they, found us.
yes, it does seem like this selfish thing, this nihilist streak, probably is stronger than I think it is. So you just think how stupid the world is now, right? I mean, the fact that religion is even breathing at all. I mean, religion should be so dead by now, and the fact that it isn't is just such a monument to the belligerence of the selfish psychology.
Yeah, I sent you a cool video on Skype. I don't know if you watched it. So, what's it like to travel at the speed of light? So this
Oh
start off
yeah,
from
yeah, yeah. Well, those are
um,
always so bogus. So yeah, I saw the link and I said, okay, do I want to watch it now because I know it's going to piss me off. So I meant to watch it later and I just haven't gotten to later yet. So yeah, I'll have to do that. But they're
uh,
just bogus. I mean, there's no way if you go the speed speed of light, everything else that's light is going to look like cosmic rays. You know what I mean? I mean, everything you're moving towards is going to be moving, you know, so fucking fast, in terms of its frequency, that you wouldn't be able to see it as light anymore anyway. Everything that was light that was ahead of you would no longer be visible, and radio waves would be looking like light. And so everything would just get all white. You wouldn't see anything. You'd just see bright light because all the radio waves would look like white light.
that's kind of cool.
They just don't get it, I mean, there's just certain, you can't, well, like I say, traveling the speed of light is just if you really take it seriously, it just fucks space entirely. I mean, it just makes a mess out of it.
Another thing is I was arguing with this guy about the whole space travel thing because he's one of those who thinks we're going to travel elsewhere. And I read an article as well about the Betelgeuse uh, star. Uh, with what is it like 15 times bigger than the sun or something like that. So they're saying that it just entered its final phase of life, and it's like a super giant. So when it explodes, because it's directed, I don't know if I forgot the parallax or something. Some of it is directed towards the solar system. So when it explodes, it's basically going to saturate the solar system with an extra dose of radiation. So for the next 100,000 years to a million years, it's going to be tough to travel within the solar system itself. So I kind of found that interesting.
Yeah, I don't know how much of it's going to reach here. I don't know that much. I don't know anything about it. But, I mean, clearly, yeah, any minute you can get wiped out by certain suns when they supernova because they, basically shoot a bunch of gamma radiation out of their asses and, you know, just totally it burned to death everything in its path. Um, so I mean, it's kind of a dangerous place, the universe. But yeah, most of the universe is really hostile. I mean, in terms of the radiation levels are really high in most of the universe. But yeah, getting anywhere, even getting out of this quiet part of the universe is pretty much impossible at any kind of speed because, wait till they do that Pluto thing. They're going to shoot some probe to Pluto and it's supposed to be traveling like the speed of a bullet by the time it gets there. And so like a grain of sand can blow it up. So that would be a good test for this idea of traveling any kind of speed at all in the universe, even in the solar system. It's really hard to go fast unless you got some sort of mechanism to clear your path for you.
Yeah, I also love how they ran the article about the Pluto's Ceres, I think, or something like that. Could Ceres house water? Could Pluto house water? Like they have these constantly these misleading articles. Oh yeah, it has water like at the edge of the universe, at the edge of the solar system. Like, why do they do that?
Well, this whole obsession with water, like, like, wow, it has water, therefore what? It's wet. Okay, cool, it's wet. I mean, this whole idea that somehow water just makes automatically you put water together with life dust and all of a sudden it makes living things. It's like sea monkeys or something. You mix some sea monkeys in water. It's just such a crock of shit.
That, and they also said, well, if Ceres does have water, then it means that it's going to have more fresh water than Earth. And, like, so what? So are we going to fucking bring it from there to here or something?
Well, fresh water. It's just a matter of the clouds will always make that for you anyway. But yeah, I don't. The whole obsession with water as the, you know, secret to life. I mean, obviously, water is important to us because that's how we evolved. But you know, it's not the whole game. I mean, life. You know, there was a bunch of other liquid chemicals in the soup that made the first living thing, ammonia and such. Yeah, well, whatever. Lamenting fishes' problems.
Then another thing about the travel at the speed of light video, it just kind of put things in perspective, like just how long it takes to travel just from sun to earth, even if you are traveling at the speed of light. So it just puts a lot of things in. It's a visual tool kind of thing, even if it's not accurate so far as the visuals go. I just like the timing of it, like it's accurate so far as timing goes.
Yeah, well, I've seen such videos in the past. I mean, Thunderfoot did one of those once actually, and but like I said, it's they don't take account for the real effects of what happens to the frequency of everything else you're interacting with, because of the redshift. I mean, it's more than just a redshift. It's like I said, you're shifting all the way to radio waves. Um, so yeah, it just doesn't really. I guess I should do one. Maybe that's the thing to do, because then maybe people would get the idea that once they'd get this whole "you're made out of light" thing. Because when you start traveling at these faster and faster speeds, your material mechanism will start to degrade and break down, and you won't be you anymore eventually, because the metabolism of your atoms will break down enough for the atoms themselves to fall apart. people really got to get this matter is energy thing. They just still haven't quite. It's just so obvious. I mean, E equals mc squared, and it's like people don't really understand what that means. you know, matter is energy.
Well, I mean, I had one of my professors at UC Irvine was a Nobel laureate, Frederick Reines, and he used to pound on the desk, boom, 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 boom. He'd say, "Matter is energy. Energy is matter. Get it through your thick head. God damn it."
Yeah, but
They're the same thing.
he obviously didn't
So I
understand
mean,
that though.
he did his level best to pound it into our
I
head.
know, but he didn't because
Matter
obviously he
is
didn't say he didn't pound on the decks and go, Einstein is full of shit. Space is not doing shit, okay? The energy's doing shit, you dumb fuckers. That has nothing to do with fucking space. You fucking retards. Space is stupid. Space has broken legs.
No, I think you would have been like the odd man out there, Gary.
Well, I mean, it doesn't
You would have
matter whether
been
I'm odd
like
man
the
out.
odd man
Doesn't
out.
matter, okay? I'm going to be right, so fuck you. I'm right, so it doesn't matter whether I'm odd or any. It doesn't matter what I am, because I'm fucking goddamn right.
You would have been like that student that fell into the nuclear reactor.
Yeah, whatever. How much you
Constantly.
want to bet? Can I look? I'll bet some sort of deal where a bunch of people get to shit on your grave, if I'm right. Okay, let's bet. Okay, and let's have a pre-arranged contract. We'll put some money aside to pay people
Yeah,
to shit on one of
yeah.
our
I'll
graves,
put you
right?
on my grave,
People
and
will just shit on your fucking. They'll
I'm gonna have a shit.
leave it
I'm
an
gonna
open
have
fucking
I'm gonna
hole,
shit
and
on
they'll
shit
just
here.
shit on your fucking dead grave, right? Because that's all I'm saying is that yeah, I'm not gonna win this argument tomorrow. Maybe it'll take another week. But I'm just saying, it's over. I won, okay? I'm fucking right. All these fucking potheads are all full of shit. And here's Biro, one of the potheads. I'm just saying, I would bet if I had kids, I'd bet my kids on this one. I'd bet the fucking
You
kids.
you you wanted you want it in your own mind, but you haven't won in the real world.
It just doesn't matter, right? Is there some other world besides my own? My own judgment is better than anybody else's anyway. There's not somebody else who has better judgment than me. So obviously, I have judged myself exceptionally. You got it, Gary. Good work, Gary. Bravo. Excellent, excellent, excellent. I'd be
My
applauding
goodness,
myself if I was in the audience. I would be
that's
applauding
incredibly
and saying, "You did
solipsistic.
it, fucker. You
That's
did it."
incredibly solipsistic.
I don't care what you want. You can call it all the words you want.
So
All you
you
can
stick
call it
your
all
head.
the words you want to. I'm just saying I don't have one rational reason to think I'm wrong. Not one rational reason. Your mic is open. Ugh, so I'm getting lectured on right and wrong from a guy who can't turn his mic on and off.
All right. Well, now it's open, but
Yeah, yeah,
it's
now it's
not.
open.
Anyway,
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. Yeah, it's open while I'm not
Gary.
talking,
I
and so
mean,
it's
come
just
on,
creating
Gary.
feedback in
That
the
is
room.
stupid. That is stupid solipsistic crap.
Well, I don't know what it has to do with
You
solipsism.
cannot
It doesn't have
possibly
anything to do with
imagine.
solipsism, retard. It has to do with not having one rational reason to think I'm wrong. What's the rational reason to think I'm wrong?
Gary, to think you were wrong or right, you'd have to
Okay, hang on, son. Let me handle this one. Because you're a pathological narcissist,
Oh,
for
whatever.
one.
Whatever. That's not a
Uh, be-
reason.
oh, whatever.
Well, you have to have reasons that have evidence behind them, and reasons that would have something to do with the integrity of what is being said. So again,
You asked me,
you're
you asked
proving
me to give
you're
you,
proving my fucking point, okay? By giving me these lame reasons, you're proving my very point that there's nothing but lame reasons. Okay, there's not any legitimate reasons. There's just a bunch of hero worshippers telling me, "Oh, you have to worship our heroes, and if you don't worship them, then fuck you." Well, I don't have to worship them, and I can do what is logically intuitive. Look, Darwin's grandfather knew what evolution was, right? Now, he already believed in evolution before Darwin, right? So before Darwin compiled 10 zillion tons of evidence, his grandfather already knew this is too fucking done, okay? This is where we come from. I mean, yeah, look at it. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. I don't need a fucking, you don't have to go to Galapagos to fucking see evolution right outside your back door. And his grandfather knew it.
yeah, it kind of helps. As an
I'm just
idea.
saying that I've just watched about 17 lectures on electricity and magnetism, right? From MIT or some dopey place. I even watched some from Yale, but that guy's as boring as fuck. But anyway, and everything they're talking about, induction, like I said, these open and closed surfaces, it all fits, man. It just total photon theory all the way down.
Well, Gary, I think that you would have to come up with some sort of experiment that your system makes a certain prediction that's different from the current system, and then you discriminate between the two.
Right. Well, I've labeled a couple of those. I've labeled a couple of those, the two slit experiment. So I thought of another one because, okay, so let's talk about the two slit experiment with electrons. All right, because they don't do the two slit experiment. It's not the two slit experiment when they use electrons. It's a completely different experiment, right?
No, they have now.
Well, I'm just saying I haven't seen that because electrons won't.
Originally, yeah, they did it.
Electrons.
Through some sort of a grating.
Electrons will not travel in a straight line. They're not photons, right? So electrons end up going all who knows where they're going to go unless they have charged plates that they're traveling to. So unless you create a charge for them to travel to, electrons will fall based on gravity. Electrons will do lots of things that photons will never do. So electrons just won't travel you can't just shoot one out of a gun and have any real hope. Like if you just shoot it into the regular atmosphere, you don't have much hope that electron's going to go in a straight line. You just don't know what it's going to do. But anyway, but the key thing is that with electrons you don't have a frequency unless you create it, right? They don't have a native frequency, right? So electrons can be shot at any frequency. So that's a big difference between light and electrons. So in the formula for the quantum mechanics, you don't have necessarily a frequency. You can vary the frequency of the electrons to any frequency. So that means you should theoretically be able to vary the thickness of the slits because there's a very key relationship that you can't have, and no part of the experiment in terms of the thickness of the slit in the middle or the two openings have to be below the wavelength of the light you're using. But with electrons, you could vary their frequency substantially. You could have a very slow frequency, and therefore you should be able to have a very wide slit, and the math should still work. Correct or incorrect?
Well, I diverge from what you said all along the way. I mean, supposedly electrons do have a frequency based on their mass and velocity.
I don't understand. We can shoot them at any frequency. Electrons don't have a native frequency. They don't have a native frequency. There's no such thing as blue electrons or red electrons or yellow electrons. There's just no such thing as a built-in frequency. You shoot them at a frequency.
But like shooting them once a second, that's not the frequency that matters. I mean, we're talking about the frequency of the particle, and they do have a frequency depending on their velocity. And also, it's not that different
I'm
from
not. No, no,
photons
no.
because
Well, no. We just stop right there. Okay. We just can't have a. Let's just point out where we have intractable disagreements. I will not accept this notion that electrons have a built-in frequency. They don't. They have a built-in size, but and they have a variable velocity. So you have both a variable velocity and a size, but frequency is still frequency. You still have to have a wavelength to do the math. The math requires you input a wavelength, and I'm saying that the only wavelength they can be putting in that for that number is the wavelength of the frequency at which they're shooting the electrons. The electrons are shot
oh,
at a
well, but that's
frequency.
not what they say. This is why for 100 years they've been saying that these particles are all waves and particles both, including the electron being a wave, just like the photons, which they thought were waves because of you could see with prisms and stuff, it looks like waves.
Oh yeah,
Turns out
well
to be a particle.
again, a prism is a
You
lot
can't be
different. I mean,
surprised. You can't be
anybody.
surprised that's the position. Right?
I'm surprised that they're calling it a two-slit experiment when it's not the two-slit experiment. That's what I'm surprised by. So yes,
Well, they
I'm
have
not at all surprised that prisms will diffract electrons. So I'm just saying, it just seems almost idiotic that I even have to argue an argument about what a prism is going to do to something and whether it's a wave detector, which it's not. But whatever, I'm just saying that for the math to be done, a number has to be put in there for a frequency. What I'm saying is with electrons, you can regulate the frequency. They do it on TVs. They do it on anything that has an electron gun on it. It has a frequency that can be adjusted. I'm just saying it'd be a pretty easy experiment to do to adjust the frequency of the electrons and watch the slit pattern change, and then you can see this relationship that might exist. But another argument I'm going to try to defend, or I'm pursuing as an argument to make, is what's happening in the two-slit experiment is there's a part of Einstein's lensing theory is that this cosmological lensing, and they've seen this happen. It creates mirror images. Okay, so it doesn't just create one image, it creates 5 or 10 images of something. So they're repeated images. And I was almost thinking that when you look at the two-slit experiment, the middle impediment is so small, I mean smaller than the two openings, that essentially what you're having, the bars in the two-slit experiment, the bars being created, are just a mirror image, an image, a shadow image of the bar in the middle. It's just basically the lensing of that middle bar, and it's just projected multiple times at different angles. So it's just basically, it has nothing at all to do with interference. It has to do with the image of the middle impediment.
Well, it doesn't seem like that adds up to me.
Yeah, it seems to me it does, just because when you go with the lengths too, the original two-slit experiment was pretty long. There's a pretty fair distance from the original aperture to the two slits, and then there was a pretty long distance from the two slits to the target, because obviously you couldn't see the bars if you're too close, right? So if you do the experiment too close, you can't see the bars because they're too close together. So they get your eye can't detect them. They're there theoretically, but you can't see them because they're too small. But anyway, I think this idea of it just being a projection, I think I think it's something to work with. So I'm going to work with it when I get the time. But electrons really are fundamentally different than photons, and I just think, this idea that people have turned electrons into photons seems to me silly. They have absolutely, they have very few common characteristics. I did have another theory too. It's about that whole idea of the movement of electrons in a conductor. It's kind of interesting. Like in copper, when the copper doesn't have any electricity in it, the electrons move really, really fast. Like, speeds approaching the speed of light in terms of they're being emitted and transferring between each other, jiggling between each other at a very high rate. And when you run a current through, is when the electrons really slow down. So ironically, the electrons go really slow when there's a current, but their native speed is much higher. And I did think of a connection to that, something to do with the time dilation thing, but I can't remember what it was now, unfortunately. So, but I mean, I thought it's another effect. I think there's probably going to be one of those things I can create, one of those experiments that'll be a demonstration or a proof out of that.
Well, anyway, in principle, it's just a matter of you get those experiments that discriminate, and hopefully they predict, different things, or at least make predictions that the other system doesn't. So it's pretty far away. I mean, for you and me really to discuss it, it's kind of interesting, but really the main goals of it are sort of, the more philosophically pertinent part. And you're trying to
Well,
say,
that's your accusation.
you're
That's your
and then-
accusation. That's your accusation. I don't have to accept that accusation. I found fault with the two-slit experiment because it was phantasmagorical nonsense. It wasn't related to any other thing than the realization that when especially the Dr. Quantum video was the one that really put a bug up my ass 4 years ago, where I said, I gotta look into this because this is bullshit. I mean, that video is so fucking outrageous in what it implies, that photons are reading our minds. I mean, it's just such obnoxious crap. And for physics to let itself,
I find it obnoxious
for physics to let itself be, to play this game, it just made me it makes me very suspect of physics if physicists don't protest. The number one viewed physics video on YouTube is an absolute pile of shit, and no physicist has done anything to say we have to do something about that.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I watched the things that like Stanford and MIT have pretty good physics videos. But anyway,
that's not the point. They're not viewed by 4 million people.
The thing is, like quantum theory, really, if you look at it historically, where did it come from before there was any, much of any interpretation? It was all still just affecting this. How do we model these electrons? You have this issue of if the electron was a little BB that had a negative charge, and there's a proton, right? So, that proton is enough to be the nucleus of whatever, hydrogen. And so they're just flying around, and let's say they get close enough, just right, for that electron to go around the proton. Now, first of all, it seems like that might be a problem right there. What's the chances of hitting it just right? Wouldn't you normally just, bend and skew and, fly away? But let's just say, and it is true that it happens too much. Let's say it did happen, and now you've got the electron going around that proton. Well, they knew that if an electron is going in a circle, it'll radiate, right? Because you're basically tugging that electron. So just like with all, antenna behavior, it's going to emit a photon. So it should collapse. That photon will slow the electron down, losing energy in its orbit, and it should collapse into this thing it's attracted to, right? The negative is attracted to the plus.
It doesn't do that.
Sucked in?
All right. Well, well, look, you don't watch my video, so there's, but I'll just make the argument I made in my last video was on this exact subject. The key is that the neutron is doing exactly the opposite. So that's the catch of that's how the atom works. The proton and the electron are pushed into each other by my gravity theory, right? So we'll say attracted to each other for the sake of argument, but they're pushed into each other. But the neutron is polarized opposite. So it is attracted to the proton because it's the true negative. So technically, the electron isn't as negative as the neutron is. The neutron isn't really neutral. It's actually double negative. And so the point is that the neutron is pushing out. Okay, the neutron is filtering for the polarized gravitons, and it's actually pushing a pushing away force. So that's the pushing away force of atoms, and that's why atoms nuclei are so hard to hit. Is because they're both positive and negative, which means you can't hit them with a charged particle.
Gary, there were, in the history of science, a lot of models and theories for how it works, the solar system, and all these different ideas. The problem is they're very complicated to get those systems to match up mathematically with the experiments you can do about how, molecules and things react when you shoot a beam of some particle at another particle, and what's the angle, and making all of those predictions prove very difficult. And the quantum mechanical model makes those predictions really well. So it's like you would have to build up a model just at, so that's fine. That's science. That's 50 years of work. I hope that you're into passing.
Well, I know. I think you're exaggerating. I think you're exaggerating. I think you're exaggerating how far the quantum mechanical model works on the interior of atoms, because I don't even buy that argument. And quantum mechanics is 99.99% about the interaction between photons and electrons. That's what Richard Feynman studied. That's what Feynman diagram is the interaction between photons and electrons. It doesn't have anything to do with atoms. Look, I mean, quantum mechanics is just, I used to call it error math, but we just call it phase math, okay? It's just about the phases. Electrons have phases, all right? And depending on when you interact with them, they will change the reflexivity. So a photon gets absorbed by an electron, it travels with it for a revolution, and then it's expelled. And it's expelled at an angle dictated by the phase it was in when the photon was absorbed. And so it's basically...
Well, I'd rather talk... What about I'd rather talk about something else personally, because I just think there's a lot of work to it, and it's interesting, but I mean, there's no argument. My only thing is...
I know, I find your glib dismissal irritating and obnoxious, and I really don't have any... I'm sorry, it is a dismissal! It is a dismissal! It's a dismissal, okay? I'm saying you have a theory that's based on nothing, no physical evidence of any of the forces. They're just made up, okay? Space has power. Space does something. This thing does this, then the other thing reacts to it, and this thing reacts to what it did, but there's no origin, no causes, just effects. Okay, I'm saying that you can simply explain all of these interactions by just saying, look, it's a substance. Forces are made of something. They're not made of nothing. They're made of something. We are being pushed into the earth. We are not just being pulled into the earth by a magical force. I mean, I think that's it fits.
Well,
It fits the reality we exist in so much better. And the fact that theory also sheds light on time dilation, to me, is almost conclusive evidence of its validity. Why would it have this time dilation element if it wasn't valid? I mean, isn't that one hell of a coincidence that I can explain time dilation with a photon theory of nuclear mechanics? And it also applies to magnetism, and it also applies to electric fields. I mean, you're just dismissing all of these things where it applies, where it actually fits the experimental facts.
Dismissing it per se. I mean, I'm not dismissing it. I'm saying it. I don't think it has a high chance of producing results.
I think its chances of
I'm telling you to take
producing results are just bullshit.
And so that's just how
what results did evolution produce? What results did evolution produce? It doesn't produce results. This is just such a nonsensical statement. I'm not going to rewrite the existing... I think it's nonsensical to sit there and say it has to produce something. It's an explanation of the fucking causes. All right, I'm not changing the effects. We already know what the effects are. I'm explaining why it fucking happens.
It's a candidate explanation among thousands of explanations.
I don't know, thousands of
And
nonsensical, made-up
that's
bullshit
all.
explanations.
Whatever you say, it has to go through the same vetting
No,
process.
no, it's a different vetting process. When you don't have a God, when you actually have evolution, this is the evolution of physics, okay? Evolution versus religion, okay? All the other theories are religion. All the other theories of physics are fucking mumbo-jumbo, made-up forces, invisible fairies, angels. Oh, look, Feynman described gravity as an angel, because that's how clueless he was to what fucking it could possibly be. So he used to joke that it was about angels pushing the planet down, and because he didn't have any explanation whatsoever. He just made one up. He just said, okay, it just exists. That's all. That's as far as we'll think. And I'm saying it can be understood for its mechanics.
Well, science, as we see it now in physics, is really just a description of the patterns that have been noticed. They backed off of most explanation. I mean, they do not say whether it's multiverse or not. Usually,
yeah. Well, I'm just saying. I mean, I wish I could bet everything valuable in the universe that you're going to be proven wrong. Okay, the multiverse is a crock of shit. All this shit is just made up.
Say there was a multiverse.
Well, you're saying that these are all legitimate theories. These are all legitimate theories. All the theories are alike. There's no evolution against religion. No, all theories are alike. No, this is the evolution of physics. This is the real fucking deal versus the made up, contrived, fairy, oh yeah, the photons are riding on a wave. Yeah, sure they are.
But you're not willing to let your theory even be a candidate among others. It has to be the only one.
Well, I'm sorry. That's the way the truth works, right? Yeah, evolution's the only theory, Piro. Evolution is the only reasonable explanation. Evolution's the only reasonable explanation.
Science.
Evolution is the only reasonable explanation. There is nothing anything else. There's no other explanation. Evolution is the fact. Photon gravity is the fact. I'll ask you another two-slit experiment, just for the hell of it, though. Just this is another one that bothered me.
I have to be honest with you, Gary. This is bad. It's insanity. It's not just a strong opinion from some guy that has his own.
Your characterization means nothing. This is not an argument. This is not an argument. This is not an argument. You're just saying to me, we're all religious. Well, fuck you. You can be religious. Be religious. Be religious. Go ahead. I don't care about your personal critiques. They're irrelevant. They're not arguments against my theory. You're not proving evolution an inferior theory. You're just saying we believe in God. We believe in God. We believe in God. That's all you're doing. You're just a bunch of fucking God botherers, okay, telling me I must believe in God. No, I mustn't.
You're like, we must believe in Gary. I just believe in
Gary.
No.
I'm giving the evidence of it. I'm just pointing out the evidence of it. I made the videos pointing out the evidence of it. I'm explaining magnetism by just simply saying it's polarized, damn it. You can see it.
That's not all you're doing. You're saying no other candidate is even a candidate.
Well, show me one. Show me one that's a candidate. Show me one that doesn't rely on made-up magical fields.
Well, the thing is that quantum mechanics, as the physicists do it, they don't know that the fields are even real. They just say that, look, we can predict how this chemical reaction is going to happen. That's all. So they don't know what the fields are. They debate and argue over.
Well, exactly. I'm just saying. So I'm saying that. Yes, okay. A theory that depends on made up, invisible theories of made up stuff doesn't seem to me to make any sense. Einstein's theory is basically, thing A does something that thing B reacts to, and then thing A goes back in time and reacts to thing B before it acted on its reaction. So he creates some sort of circular mechanism where it balances out because the two things are actually being caused by each other, even though they happen at different times. So it's just, you could just point to it and say, that's got to be a crock of shit. I mean, it's too circular. What, thing A figured out what thing B was going to do ahead of time and then went back in time to react to it before it did it? I mean, that doesn't make any sense. But that's what his math depends on. But here, the two slit. I'll just give you a quick two slit thing. Okay, the two slit experiment with this wave function, right? Well, the wave function is completely, they just steal from regular medium wave functions, which actually, where the wave actually has a curve to it, right? So it's completely dependent on a curved wave, where we would think, rationally, that light might be more digital, you know, and then when it went through two slits at the same time, it would create a flat wave, right? Because there's no friction, there's nothing to bubble the wave. So what's bubbling the wave? When the light goes through the slits, what's bubbling it? What's creating the round surface on the wave function? How do photons create a round wave function? How is there friction to their wave? Why don't photons have a flat wave? Why would they have a bent wave?
Well, in quantum mechanics, it's because that's the shape of the ripple on the
that's the only way wave interference could possibly happen, is to have the rounded wave. But I'm just saying, what is the mechanism in space? What's the mechanism in space?
Try to answer. Could you give me 5 seconds to fucking answer? So if you roll the dice, just in any probability math, if you roll the dice 100,000 times and write what the answer is, you get that bell-shaped curve, right? That's where the roundness is coming from, the fact that probability math is like that. It's going to fill in ... and slowly fill in a curve. And so that's why you see the roundness. And really, if you have a super sensitive, camera, you'd see that it's speckled and that there's a noisiness to it, but it's a pretty subtle noisiness.
Yeah, camera, you could take a picture of you can't even take a picture of the photon. You're going to take a picture of its wave.
No, I'm talking about the picture that it leaves on the film.
Well, again, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. We're talking about how the wave got created in this form that is just conveniently the form that waves are only created in that form when they travel through a medium that creates friction. Waves are only bent when they travel through mediums that create friction.
Well, whatever. You just have all your own principles of physics. I don't share them with you. I mean, no, I don't think that's true. You could say it's true. It's like saying that another way, why does stuff blur and round out? Well, it's called osmosis. Oh, no, why is osmosis? Well, because of the law of entropy. Oh, well, why the law of entropy? God said it had to be.
Well, I'm just saying that, no, I think causes...
Nothing ever keeps its sharp edge, ever.
Well, I'm not saying something to keep a sharp edge. I'm just trying to say that there's no thing that can... Waves are only exist in mediums in the first place, but even if we were to theoretically argue about this, I'm just saying that what happens, the thicker the medium, the denser the medium, the more bent the wave will be. So I'm just saying that that's a function of physics, and I'm just saying you have to sort of explain what the medium is that photons are, that their wave is being bent through.
You believe there's space, right?
Well, I'm not gonna. I've already said that. Yes, there's photons and empty space. Yes, there's those two things: photons and empty space. Two things.
Well, field is really just a word for space, because a field is a space that something can be in. So it's like a blank piece, but it's space, but also with the property that something can be there, like a magnetic value, or a bit of mass, or a bit of energy. So, I mean,
and you don't see a distinction.
Really doesn't matter if you believe in space.
You don't see a distinction. You don't see a distinction between putting in the same category something of some sort of field and some sort of thing. So you don't see a distinction. You'll just say there's a field there, and it doesn't have to be made out of something.
No, it is made out of something. Like the electromagnetic field is made out of the electro and magnetic forces that we measure.
Yeah, well, again, the force, an invisible force. Okay, again, so it's not a real thing. It's just some sort of. It's just some sort of magical thing. Well, I'm sorry, it's magical. No, it's invisible, Piro. It has no fucking elemental ID. You can only see it when you put something in it. You can only see its effects. You can't see it.
So anyway, the point is that it's the idea of space that is fundamental to field. And the fact that things can be in the field, well, that's the whole point. Calling it a field is trying to say, well, it's the space and the thing in it.
Yeah,
It's the space
yeah,
and the way that
yeah,
things in it
yeah.
are arranged.
Yeah, sorry, it's a
So if you
field.
leave it space,
Fields are
then
just
there's fields.
that's just it's just religion to me. Okay, a field has never been explained
Yeah, I
ever.
know.
Even when I was a kid, I said, "What do you mean a field? A
I'm
field of
explaining it to
what?"
you. It's space.
Yeah, no, it's no.
space.
You're not explaining shit. You're just saying there's a magical thing that compels something to
That's
move
all
this
space.
way or compels it to move that way, but it's a magical thing. It's not a thing. It's just a magical thing in the space. The empty space tells it to go that way or to go that way.
Well, no, in QED, you have the force-carrying particles that...
Oh yeah, carrying
gravity
again, force
that exist.
carrying. I'm talking about the force, not the carrier. Again, what is the force made out of? How does the force do something?
Well, for example, in the case of electromagnetic fields, the forces can ripple, and that's what is at a particular place. It's not like
Christ.
the force is pulling
You
you
just
from
do it
elsewhere.
again,
No, it's
again.
right there. There's a ripple called
Again,
a photon
again,
rippling
again.
through the field.
Yeah, a photon rippling through the field. Again, it's the photon is being manipulated by the force. Again, I'm saying, what is the force made out of? What is the mechanics of the force? You can't just say it's empty space because that's obviously
As
not
long as
empty
you say the
space.
mathematics-
If there's a force there. Oh,
As
well,
long as
again,
you say the mathematics is going to turn out exactly the same, it doesn't really matter to me then, because you'll have no way to distinguish your theory. So when you do distinguish your theory with the experiment,
well, you're saying it doesn't
then
make any
it'll matter.
difference. I think it makes a huge amount of difference.
right
If
now.
you have a
No, I like these-
wrong presumptions are always going to be
I
corrosive.
like the discussion.
So I think it's just bogus for you to dismiss it.
Like
Again, with
this-
this is your no. I'm not going
I'm
to take
not
your
dismissing
bullshit,
it. I'm
Piero.
just
I
talking
really
about
don't have anything to say to you then. Okay, go have your room, talk your bullshit. I don't want to talk
Okay.
about anything else with you, and I find this whole glib attitude of yours insulting. It doesn't make any difference that we have the truth wrong, that the model of the universe we have is
find
wrong,
that Joseph
that we are
Smith-
we are
I find that
counting
Joseph
we're
Smith
accounting for
speaking
time
holy words
dilation
from your
wrong.
dreams
Where
after huffing
every
glue,
fucking
not
thing that's going on, we have the wrong
statistics.
explanation.
So, fine.
That doesn't
You
make
wanna
any
talk about
difference.
anything
It doesn't
else?
make any
I
difference.
don't really care.
I don't give a
think
fuck
we're-
either. I don't give a fuck whether I ever talk to you again. Go fuck off, you fucking idiot. Ugh. I'm just gonna so dance on his fucking dead. I mean, I'm I'm going to in effigy dance on his fucking grave, spit and piss and shit on it. Fucking nitpicking, naysaying motherfucker. There's no fucking argument.
I thought he was making a lot of sense.
Well, then you can fuck off too. What sense did he make? What counter argument did he make? Oh, the invisible forces make invisible things happen. What fucking argument did he make, sub-DNA? What fucking one? Give me one rational argument he made dismissing a particle theory of gravity. Give me one fucking piece of evidence of something he said it couldn't be for this reason. Give me one!
Well, I actually couldn't hear anything.
Alright, fuck you then. Fuck you. I'm sick of this lame bullshit. Fuck you too. Fuck you! I mean, it's sub-DNA is now everybody's got to agree. He's tedious as fucking hell to listen to, right? Most of the time his sentences are incomprehensible. You can barely hear him. His microphone sucks. And this fucking ragged piece of shit is going to sit there and complain to me about not being able to hear me? Bull fucking shit. Well, the fact that my microphone is crackling, does it mean you really can't hear me? Really? You can't hear me? Erwin, holy shit! What the hell are you doing in here? In the dark. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Uh, you're kind of spooky at night. That's pretty cool. That is the famous, whatever it is, dishpan renewal? No. Regurgitated fart buckets? No, no, no. Reinvigorated, no, what is it again? Shit poo? Cowpox. That's it. Yeah, cowpox. The Great. Yeah, they always have to put that after it. Cowpox the Great. Yeah. Me likey. I want like a 500-foot statue of cowpox, you know, with just his finger pointing into the distance, you know, holding a pile of poo in his hand. It'd be great. Yeah, your mom doesn't look like he's gonna help at all. Yeah, fuck you. Fuck you. So anyway, where was I? Yeah, maybe I'll have a real cigarette in celebration of the cowpox. I got 2 left. Real cigarette. Spectacular. So anyway, where were we? Microphone test. Can you hear me? All right then. Test is over.
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay. Better be a good one because I'm obviously not in a very good mood.
Yeah, can you explain how prisms aren't wave detectors?
Well, number one, a wave. How could you can't even detect a photon without interfering with it, right? So, and what exactly would this wave be? What? There's no. You're not giving me. They're not wave detectors. Yeah, I'm saying no. There's no fucking way they're detecting waves. Something is going through the prism. They're called photons, or electrons, or whatever else you're shoving through the prism. But a thing is going through it, not a wave. There's no real evidence of a wave, okay? There's nothing that you can't, a wavelength is not a wave, okay? A wavelength is merely a distance between something. It's a period. It's frequency. It's not a wave. There's just no evidence anywhere of any real wave. There's only indirect, circumstantial projections. But there's no real evidence of anything called a wave. And like I said, to even argue the 2-slit experiment is evidence of a wave forces you to think in this idiotic notion that, oh yeah, a photon goes through both slits, interferes with itself, and then recombines in the appropriate location. Now, doesn't that sound a little bit, just on its face, a little bit silly? The photons that always go in straight lines, photons that travel zillions of miles through space to reach my eye, right? From a star, it goes zillions of miles through space in a straight line, right? And hits my eye, and yet a photon in an experiment can't travel 5 feet without splitting in half and going through 2 slits. How come photons aren't flying through slits all the way through on their trip all across space to get to my eyeball? I wasn't losing the argument. Yeah. Piro wanted to talk about... be a liar, okay? I'll just ban you for being a liar. That's not what fucking happened, all right? Piro does his own video making, so you can watch Piro tomorrow, okay? He's going to have a little fucking YouTube party thingy, okay, with Hostile a Boring Day, All right, and he's going to talk all kinds of phantasmagorical shit, and that's his entitlement, okay? But I have no interest in talking his phantasmagorical religion in my room. I want to talk real physics. He didn't have a counter argument except, I don't think it matters anyway. What if it is photons? So what? That's the extent of his brilliant counter argument. So fuck you, zero guy. Fuck you. So, if you have a question, get to it already. So, oh, you already asked it. That's right. It was useless. Oh, sorry, forgot.
Yeah, I always assumed the wave characteristics were the difference between, like the wavelength between the photons.
Yeah, well, it is the wavelength between the photon, but you got to understand that the distance between one photon and another photon isn't a wave. The wave function is an actual wave, they're saying, exists, and the wave goes through both slits, and the waves interfere with each other, and then the photon decides to surf this way or surf that way based on doing the math correctly.
And are they assuming it's random or something?
Well, it's not random. It's based on a probabilistic, uh, uh, inevitable correlation. But that correlation is being created by the electrons the photons are interfering with. The electrons are the thing that have a wave because they have an actual frequency that's vibrating, horizontal to the photon traveling through the substance. I mean, it's these physicists who don't seem to understand that matter is made out of energy. They think matter is actual matter. They think that photons actually bounce off of brick walls and things. I mean, they're supposed to be physicists, and that's what they think. A frequency can't create a wave till it interacts with a medium. Mediums transmit waves. Sound waves happen in a medium. In a vacuum, there is no sound. That's sort of the rule. You have to have a medium for there to be waves. And so the argument is somehow space is a medium that transmits these waves, and yet there's no explanation for what that medium could possibly be or how the fuck it could possibly transmit these waves. Haircut talk. Anyway. Yeah, Cowpox has got a new hat anyway. I haven't seen that before. Looks like one of mine. It's probably something else converted into a hat.
So I had a multiple choice question on a test that was like, photons are considered to be a particular radiation, wave-like radiation, a form of electromagnetic energy, or irrelevant to discussions of quantum mechanics. What would you say the answer?
Well, obviously they would say irrelevant to discussions of quantum mechanics because all they care about is the math. But obviously I'm saying it's clearly a thing. Okay, who knows what a photon actually is? Whether it's actually made out of anything is kind of irrelevant. But the point is, it's not a wave. It's a thing. It's traveling the speed of light. It's a thing. It's a discrete thing traveling the speed of light. It has no particular... The only characteristic photons have is polarization. They have a shape. They're like a disc. Okay? They're either pointing this way or they're pointing this way or some way in between. But that's what they are. They're a disc traveling through space. So they can be filtered based on what position they're in. You know, whether they're flying this way or flying this way.
You know Vernon Brown? Have you heard of it?
No, I don't barely know my own parents, so by name, I don't really pay attention to names.
He has what's called photon theory of everything.
Yeah, well, there you go. Good news there. I haven't heard him yet, but what's his name again? I better write it down because that's what I'm talking about. Photons are everything.
Vernon Brown.
Vernon Brown. Vernon. E-N-N. Brown. Okay. Photon theory of anything. Well, I'll have to look that up. You know, Piro, you know, he dropped out of college. I mean, you know, he was taking some physics, but, you know, he ended up getting a wishy-washy philosophy degree or something. So, either he didn't like the math or something.
Pardon us. The Grand Zen Master Alan Watt, may he rest, declared that the photons and the rest of the universe doesn't exist until you're there to perceive it.
Yeah, you must have watched the Dr. Quantum video. But yeah, you know, obviously this idea of we project the universe is kind of silly, right? Why would I bother projecting zillions of stars and all of that crap? I wouldn't care about inventing all of that nonsense. So it's, you know, I don't really buy into that theory. What do you want? What? What? Ugh, damn cat. Cat maintenance. Ugh. What?
We sort of fancy the contention there. Living where and what we do, the idea of the interior projected to the outside and into the universe. Oh, that sounds like a lot of free room.
Yeah, I didn't get to all of that, but, yeah, I'm just not into this projectionist theory. You know, we project crap in our own head that's, you know, our own little projections of fantasies about reality. But there is a reality, and it's made out of hard stuff. We're made out of hard stuff. I mean, it's just not... the head game just... there's no... we don't have any power. You know, the brain just synthesizes a version of reality. And, you know, I think it's pretty close just because there wouldn't be much point evolutionarily. You know, I mean, evolution sort of works that way. We wouldn't have senses unless they were sort of reliable. And, you know, so, you know, this idea we make up reality is kind of, it's probably a nice fantasy, but I don't think it works as a theory of reality.
Well, Alan Watts would say, yes, we do make reality, we just don't know how we do it.
Yeah, I know. He can say it all he wants to say it, but I'm just saying, I just think that's absolute bullshit. Yeah, I don't think you could do that. I don't think your brain can make up reality. You know.
Oh, not brain, mind.
Same difference, in my opinion. Well, brain, mind, same shit as far as I'm concerned. There's nothing outside of brain. There's just brain.
Brain is the organ of the mind that allows mind to think.
Yeah, I know, but brain is not just an organ, it's the actual mechanism. It's the software and the hardware. It's the arrangement of it's the Windows, and then it's the crappy program on top of the crappy Windows.
I mean, I can grow hair, I have a beard, but bugger me if I know how I do it. It happens.
Well, I know, but it doesn't just happen. It's obviously evolution, right? You grow a beard because the fish needed beards, you know, to scrape the bottom of the ocean, you know, to detect little bugs to eat. And so that's why we grow hairs, because yeah, hair was a good little sense organ.
Bet it's dark at the bottom of the pot.
It's dark in Bomb and Pop. Yeah, well, it's probably dark in Bound Bay too. I don't know, but I think it's dark there now.
I evolved the blind man's cane as an extension of sight. And it works really well, except I keep breaking it over passing motor vehicles.
Yeah, well, that's the test, right, of your vision, your brain vision. It was the car test. Yes, can I see the car? Yes, good test. Um, yeah. Well, I'm not. You know, I mean, I loved in Little Big Man. You know, when the old Indian went blind and he said, you know, thank you for my blindness through which could see, or something. You know, because he saw so much by being blind. But it's a nice little cliche, but it really isn't. You know, being blind just means you trip over shit. It doesn't really do you any good. I mean, you can pretend to be blind anytime you want, right? You can just walk around the house with your eyes closed and say, yeah, being blind would suck.
I won't say we actually pretended it, but I did fudge matters on the test to speed up the disability.
Well, I guess you gotta do what you gotta do to survive, you know. But,
We're all frauds to some extent. Our egos are all fiction.
well, this is true. Well, I don't know if they're fiction. They're just, um, they're bad stories. You know what I mean? It's like they're not a non-thing. They're not imagined. They are a real thing. They're just made out of shit.
Bad fiction. It explains our poetry.
Yeah, well, I'm not much of a poet guy. You know, it's I like the direct, you know, straight liney kind of thing. And poetry's too much. Too much. I hate waves. I guess I'm just a wave bigot, and poetry's too wavy.
Well, here's the short one. Roses are red, violets are bluish. If it wasn't for Jesus, we'd all be Jewish.
Yeah. Well, I don't even think that would be true, right? Some because yeah, that would be maybe would be. Let me think of it. Let me see who would have conquered the Jews if it wasn't for the Christians fucking it up. Um, you know, well, they had to come to the rescue, didn't they? You know, so that's true too. We'd all be Nazis, I guess, right? Yeah, we'd all be Nazis now.
Well, are you staying warm up there? We've heard that you're getting all sorts of weather.
Yeah, no, it isn't good. It's been horribly awful, terribly cold, and now they're supposed to do some kind of slop tomorrow, and hopefully the roof will hold up. But you know, I am concerned that tragedy will strike, and I will have to relocate. Yeah, uh, to the woods. Tarp City. I have to move into Tarp City.
Well, here at Wetlands Remediation, there's always room for one more.
Yeah, it's a little scary there, though. Come on, it's a little scary, even for me. I don't. I mean, I got cobwebs, but I got nothing like what you got growing there in your bathroom, man. I mean, I'm gonna have to get. I'll have to take a pill, you know, just to get over the trauma. It's a little bit too much nature. It's too much nature for me.
Well, it's nigh into what we call spring, and there's a whole new crop of babies.
Yeah.
Pretty soon they'll all be individually suspended from the ceiling and dropping like rain.
Yes,
It's quite the natural wonder.
yeah, it's charming as fuck. I can only imagine. Uh, There was a dried up mouse in the neighbor's fucking dryer the other day. It was all dried up and mortified. It's just, it was so, I didn't know what it was, and it like it fell in my hand as I'm working in there, and I was like, what the fuck is that? So it was a goddamn dead mouse. It was like, oh fuck, there's a creepy dead mouse on me. But yeah, you do get used to it. I mean, I have to admit, just after a while, you just say, yeah, what's a few bugs in the food. Who cares? you know.
Well, it says, as one survivor of Auschwitz said, yes, dear, we all had lice. Some of us ate them for extra protein.
Yeah. Well, gotta do what you gotta do and all, and such.
Are you normally a night owl?
Am I normally who?
A night owl.
Well, I like to be. It's just that real life forces you to do that thing during the day now and then, and that screws me up. So I'm like 50-50, I'm half the night, and, but, yeah, I used to do the all night. I used to work at night, which was really great. I worked the night shift, and then, so I'd go to work at 10 o'clock at night and leave at 6 in the morning, and that was a nice racket. It's quieter at night, so I like it. I prefer the peace and quiet.
You have trouble sleeping during the day.
Yeah, I never have trouble sleeping during any period of time. I could sleep, and yeah, sleeping's really easy for me. I love sleeping.
Do you find it like a poor man's liberation?
Oh yeah, I get to do all kinds of fancy shit in my dreams. I mean, I'm doing all kinds of crap, and it's fun. Some of it's horrible, but you know what I'm saying. It's almost interesting just because you are always someplace and you're always doing something, and so that's it's much more of an adventure than my real life. So I really like dreaming.
Well, with that marvelous wood you have nearby, seems like you could lurk in that and have all sorts of fun.
Well, I've tried lurking. Yeah, I do my share of it. Uh, you know. But yeah, I guess it wears off after 30 years. Gets kind of same old. And, if I had time, I'd really like to just go out in the woods and paint. And, I used to do that, and that was kind of nice. But, I mean, I have a
Oh,
mission.
you're,
I'm sort of distracted by my mission orientation, so I have all this work to do. you know, Unification theories and whatnot.
a plein air painter. How wonderful. What's your medium outdoors? Is that an oil?
No, that's too expensive. It's too messy outside too. Actually, I usually just do pencils, or something simple, So I just, do either just a regular black and white drawings, or I would do, just color pencils or pastels, something easy to carry, not requiring water and such.
It's a real chick magnet to show up with a drawing pad and colors.
Yeah, I mean, I really think if I spent some time actually being an artist, I could actually be one. But it's just, it's time.
Society would license you for all sorts of excesses if you would just tell them you're one.
Yeah, well, I have to take this physics part seriously and figure out a way how to time dilate myself so I can gain more time in my day so that I can do all the things I want to do.
Well, I can't speak about an objective dilation, but there are plenty of drugs out there that will subjectively do it for you.
Yeah, I know, but they're productivity killers. Then all I'm going to do is masturbate, and that's not very productive.
Iron fructose.
Something fructose? Well, I just mean that it's not going to get, the unification theory isn't going to get done that way. Yeah, I mean, it's just, unfortunately being stoned just doesn't get, I'm just not it just doesn't, I mean, cocaine maybe, I don't know, but, most of the time I just like to enjoy being mind altered. Don't really want to work while I'm mind altered.
We have an unfortunate history with cocaine. We stumbled across a pound jar of pharmaceuticals our friend had ripped off from a local pharmacy, and it's run us on crack ever since.
Yeah. Well, I seen that in people. I mean, I guess I didn't have the same, it's like alcohol. I just, I like drinking okay, but yeah, I didn't like really being drunk. And cocaine made me too nervous. So, I guess I could never get addicted to it just because I never had that good a time. It was always a little bit too stressful for me to acquire an addiction to it, I think. But who knows? I never took enough either, probably, to get addicted.
Does B12 make you too jumpy?
Yeah, I have to take it, just as being a vegetarian and whatnot. You want to be able to supplement. And yeah, I have to be sort of careful with how I take it, so I use those ones you put under your tongue, the whatever, just to make it a gentler assimilation.
Well, those are rather expensive. Have you considered going to the feed store and getting a bottle of Rooster Boost for poultry? It's cherry flavored.
Yeah, no, I haven't. Maybe it's an idea, but I was thinking I would just cook some dirt. I figured that could do it too. Just cook up some dirt and eat a spoonful of dirt a day, right? And that'll do it.
It would certainly inoculate you with the acaron bacteria.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I get the byproduct without the bacteria, so I get the. Well, I mean, it's just all shit, right? It's bacteria shit. So,
Quite. Traditional commercial production is from tank sewage.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, most everything's sewage at one time or another. We've all been sewage at one time or another.
Around here, it turns into grapefruits that we feed poor.
Yeah, well, grapefruits are good. I like grapefruit.
It right now is the citrus harvest here, and we've been busy picking fresh fruit for rotting vegetables.
Yeah, that's a good deal if you can find it. They used to dump some, there used to be a guy who used to dump his extra apples. I guess he had apples on his estate, and so he'd dump them back in the woods, and so I used to be able to get free apples that way. But no more. That was a real bonus.
It's really good to see you in here, Erwin.
Oh, it's really good to be here. We're not ever sure we'll make it.
Yeah, connection-wise and otherwise. You're hanging in there.
It is late at night, too.
Are you staying warm in Chicago?
Yeah, I'm trying. I hibernated a lot of today, so I missed the worst of late. No problem. But yeah, not too bad. How is it in Texas at the moment, in corn dog hell?
Warm. We're 70.
I imagine.
Like I said, personally, we've been busy delivering the citrus food back. Now that's an artist for you. He goes off and makes more work for himself. 20 years ago, I started planting fruit trees because I thought it was a good idea to feed the hungry. Now every year I'm stuck with picking a half ton of fruit.
Wow, a half ton? I thought you were having trouble growing stuff lately.
Oh, yes, well, that's because the city keeps insisting on destroying it. We also had
Yeah.
the 6 years of drought.
I'm gonna go grab. I'm having a little trouble hearing you, Erwin. I'm gonna go grab my headphones real quick. I'll be right back.
Stupid cat went
Maybe I should.
wandering. Yeah. What are we up to? Another hour and 20 minutes. So maybe I'll save this one and start a new recording.